give me a quick overview. What is Venuesuite? And as the founder, what led you to one, be crazy enough to launch a company, let alone scale a company? So talk to me just a little bit about kind of what Venuesuite is and how it came to be for you.
To take it one step back really quickly, I was born and raised in a hotel, basically, with a family-owned business in the hotel business, and now also in the meeting and event business. So, with that regards, hospitality is running through my veins. I somehow got into the software business and saw what software could do to optimize processes. And with that regards, at a certain point, we were having some family meetings on how the future looks, because as a family business, you take a longer perspective, maybe even a multi-generational perspective. And we're like, okay, so how is the online landscape in meeting and events going to develop? Because we are operating in that segment. And we saw that there was so much still manual labor being done by our teams on preparing simple quotes for a simple meeting reservation, that at a certain point we saw that this is not future-proof anymore. So we need to do something. We need to invest in it and maybe help or build software to help our team to relieve the pain of this. We call it the rabbit hole, where the booker and the venue host is going down in terms of booking a meeting and event space. So that's where it all started. We thought, well, let's just start building something. And from the one thing came another. And now we are here where we are with Venuesuite. And what we've built is a booking engine, just like we know the booking engine for rooms, where we have the booking engine basically enabling a hotelier to get the bookings directly from their website for meeting and event spaces. So we get the booking in from the website. We automate the entire process for RFPs up till the digital proposals based on real-time availability, pricing, dynamic pricing now also, Scoop, and all the way up to invoicing. So the starting point was really our own family business, the pain that we had, and then we said let's build a company in software and to see if we can roll it out and push the market forward. Yeah,
I love that. I mean, it's so cool. Like, it's always interesting as an entrepreneur, having been background in entrepreneurship and having worked with over 500 entrepreneurs in my time as a coach, as a consultant with my own, when I co-founded my own sales agency. It's everyone has a unique story of how they get into it. It's so cool when you hear the story of something personal like that, where it's like, I saw this, I felt this, and I was like, there's nothing on the market. Why don't I just build it? And then, like, crazy enough to just like go build it and see what happens, and then to see it scale and grow, I think is so much fun to just like be able to like, that's where some of that most authentic technology comes from, because it's a real pain, having gone through it on a very real basis, versus there's a lot of technology at times that are built because there's a perceived pain, and they build a solution for it. And it's like a solution on top of a solution on top of a solution. And it doesn't actually fix anything. Especially during the pandemic, everything was cut down. It's like, what is necessary versus what accessory? These companies had stacks of technology, and the hospitality industry is very similar in the fact that you've got different systems for everything. And how do they all work together to make the most seamless experience happen? And I think that's what you all have done well with Venuesuite, is making a seamless experience and being able to operate and integrate in a hotelier's lifestyle ecosystem in a very simple way.
Yeah, absolutely. And we see that with the post-COVID era, that a lot of hotels, they don't have the luxury to have people waste time and resources on preparing simple things that can be automated. And that's exactly why we're doing it, that the things that can be automated, let's just do it and then focus on spending more time on relationship management, thinking with the guests, thinking with the corporate bookers on what we can add more value to, and not be spending days. It really takes sometimes days to preparing a quote, which is just manual work. It's just ridiculous. But yeah, it's the reality for a lot of companies. And now the post-COVID era shows they need to change, because we cannot find the staff for a lot of people. So let's automate it. And that's a strong stimulus for companies like yours and ours to enable that. And that's wonderful to see that in the daily operational business, that actually does what it's supposed to do.
And I think that's the interesting piece, right? Is some of the stuff that is manual. And yes, everyone's afraid that technology, AI, is going to steal people's jobs. And there's things that automation is not meant to replace something. It's meant to take something off your plate so that the person can be more focused on bigger projects, bigger things. Like gone are days, like if people are still out there building quotes on in a Word document and sitting over, like there's so much other stuff out there that can simplify your life. And I don't know about you, but when I was, running my own business, I hated creating like an SOW or a quote. And it's like, I created just standardized pricing across and made it simple. I was like, how can I simplify my own process? And that's what I think so many people don't realize about automation. It's like automation is meant to help take those things off your plate so you can be more creative, more strategic, and actually solve problems.
Exactly. And it brings, I love what you're saying, because it really brings in our case, the booker, the corporate booker and the venue host closer together. You really get to know each other, because if you're using some tooling, you can of course also gather some data. And by the time that you're looking at my venue to book it, we already know what your favorite setup is. We already know what your favorite food and beverage package is. And that stuff you don't need to talk about anymore, because we can see it in the systems. And that's the part that you don't need to find that out. You don't need to call, you don't need to email anymore. Hey, we know each other. And that's what tech should do in the end, not automate because we can get rid of people or employees. No, it's automation so that you can do more with maybe less, but also to provide a better service.
Yeah, exactly. And if that stuff, and that also facilitates a much more deep conversation around what's the experience you want to have. Like we already know what your favorite food and bev package is. We know that you've done multiple things like this. We can kind of automate that and simplify it and be like, okay, what experience are you looking to go for? What was missing last time from the human touch that we can add in? So you have this taken care of. This is all done for you.